Welcome to the finance section of the committee training. I am Tom Milburn, the sports coordinator of the Student Union. This training is specifically for any treasurers of clubs or societies, but I do encourage other committee members to attend as this is quite an important aspect of running your club. So let's get into it. So the aim of this training session is to further your knowledge and understanding on our SU finances, what the role of a treasurer is, how a club can generate income, expenditure, which is your everyday essential costs, student group finance, which is our payment system that we use. So obviously, if you have any questions, then feel free to email myself or my colleague Jasmine, who oversees all the societies, and we'll be able to answer any of your questions. So just a quick oversight of the Student Union itself. So we are a registered charity and we must comply to the Education Act 1994. We are annually audited by an external accountant and all our finances are also shared with the public on the Charity Commission website. We must adhere to our financial regulations and we ask that all clubs and societies do as well. All clubs and societies are managed under the Student Union account, and so no individual club or society accounts have a sort code or account numbers, just like your personal banking account would. We have a finance officer who manually arranges all clubs' payments and outgoings, as well as any sort of credit payments that you'll receive, whether that's memberships or ticket sales or selling products. And just in line with a lot of facilities on campus, we are also a cashless organisation and run digitally via our webpage or card readers. And we ask clubs to adhere to that and not to take cash, for example, at events. So just a quick schedule. So you would have already received a transaction report or your opening balance for this year over the summer. You will also receive a transaction report at the end of term 1 and then 2. Although you can request a transaction report at any time if you just email your coordinator, they'll be able to provide one of these. Transaction report is literally just a bank statement. You will receive an updated bank balance at the beginning of each month from your coordinator. If you do require an updated balance at any time, then again, email your coordinator as we get provided account balances every week. So 2 weeks on from Welcome Fair, we do encourage clubs to just check on your income following membership payments. So please really push the memberships over the opening 2 weeks and make sure you've got as much money as possible to make sure so you can cover your essential everyday costs. We have international students join in January, or essentially students might want to try something new or join another club, and usually clubs reduce their membership costs. We do welcome that and happy to provide that if that's communicated with us. And it just gives you an opportunity to welcome more members and also raise more funds for your club. So what is a treasurer's role? So we ask that treasurers, they keep an updated record of their club's account balance. We ask that you check reimbursements and also payment requests that may be submitted on the payment system. Just make sure that the correct name is registered and also that the correct sort code and account number has been submitted. We ask you to kind of do this every week as payments can be submitted every week, although there will be some exemptions where possibly our finance officer may be on annual leave or sick leave. So a treasurer, they can also log any sort of debited payments that go out via the student group finance, or if you've arranged a recent online payment, literally just take it away from your the record of the balance that you have. You can also log any credited payments that the club has received from sessions, events, or selling products. And a treasurer can actually access this via the back end of your web page, via the admin tools, and it's via the sales reports. These can be accessed anytime. We ask that the treasurer is aware of the current balance and in line with your essential expenditure. Obviously, facilities is a major one, as you know, it allows you to run sessions. And we just make sure that you have the money to cover that for whether it's term 1 and 2, or possibly throughout the whole year if you're willing to run throughout up until the end of up until June. When spending money, does it really meet the aims or objectives that's been set out in your constitution? And is it really what members want or need? If you make any sort of payments with regards to equipment or kit, then we ask that you update your inventory. So you have an updated list of your assets that can be then handed down to the incoming committee at the following year. So if a treasurer completes all the tasks, then they should have a good understanding of the club's financial state and also an accurate record of the club's account that you would then be required to present at your AGM to your members. So we also have a role to play at the student union. All clubs and societies hold their account with the student union. And as a coordinator, we also monitor your SU accounts and will flag any issues we have with your account. We can also raise invoices and also make payments for you, whether that's also international payments. We ask that they don't go through the payment system as they are more complex and they need to be sent directly to your coordinator who will make arrangements with the finance officer. We can provide you with account balances, transaction reports as well. We literally provide you a website platform so you can then bring in income or make payments. The student union offers funding that can be applied in in September and January. We have an insurance policy that covers all our clubs and societies members, whether that's personal accident or public liability, and also covers assets just in case any kit or equipment gets damaged or stolen. We also provide card machines and minibuses. These need to be booked in advance due to demand. We also provide financial support and guidance, whether that's advice if you're unsure on how to do anything, if you have any sort of projects or trips planned. We're also expected to adhere to our policy and financial regulations. So if we get back to you on a certain thing, it's because we need you to adhere to the regulations. So generating income for your club or society. The most obvious one is the memberships that you disclose in your budget when affiliating. These can be student or associates, which is non-students. Associate members will need to pay the £25 membership fee to the student union before they get access to all our clubs and societies. A lot of clubs also charge weekly fees for sessions or events. Sponsorship agreements, they can be arranged at any time, but if you plan on promoting a business on your match day kit or training kit, then we do ask that that's arranged during the summer, so it's all in place for the start of the season. Grants and funding are available to clubs and societies, whether that's Exeter Annual Fund, which I'll touch on a bit more in a bit, and also student union funding. The club can run events and generate income via ticket sales that you can put up on your web page, and also set up session fees. This can be done via adding tickets or selling products. So the student group funding, which the student union offer all our clubs and societies. So this is essentially a reimbursement scheme. So for example, if you're awarded £500 towards facility costs, the club will be expected to pay that out of their account first, and then the student union arranges for the £500 to be put back into your club's account to cover that cost. Our student group funding is dependent on the student union's budget, which is usually announced in August ahead of the year. So we have 2 rounds of student union funding, which applications open in September and January. And this is secured via an application process. Your coordinator will confirm via email your award for the year. We cannot award funding for social events, merchandise, individual kits, or charity donations, we are a charity ourselves. So these will not be approved for funding. If you do not use your SU funding within a term, then the funding is then returned to the SU funding pot for the following term. So please make sure when you're applying for student group funding, it falls within the term that you're applying for. So Exeter Annual Fund. This is the grant that Exeter University are able to offer our Exeter students for any sort of support with a project or an event. So this funding is only exclusive to Exeter students, unfortunately. So FALM students won't be able to apply for the Exeter Annual Fund. If you have an Exeter student on your committee or within the club, then they will be able to apply on your behalf. Again, this is a reimbursement scheme, just like the SU funding. So the club would then pay out what is needed for the project, and then your coordinator make sure along with the finance officer, make sure they reclaim the money from Exeter to go back into your student club account. A club can apply up to 2,500 for a project, although we did award, I think the most last year was 3,000 for a club. The Exeter Annual Fund, so the application, it needs to enhance the student experience and reach out to a minimum of 25 students. You can only apply for alumni funding once a year, and also repeated projects, they are usually not approved. So if your club was awarded funding for to attend a competition, for example, you will not be able to apply for that funding again. If you have any concerns over that, then please make contact with your coordinator and we'll discuss arrangements with you. Exeter Annual Fund, they will not approve funding for things like balls, dinners, or presentations that involve sort of food or drink. And again, consecutive projects that a club has already been approved for in a previous year will most likely not be approved. So sponsorship, if your club needs new kit or equipment, a sponsorship agreement is a good way of fulfilling this. If you regularly use a local business in the area, or friends and family are willing to help your club or society, then a sponsorship contract is a formal sort of binding agreement that sets out what the sponsor is going to provide the club. We ask that you don't sign any contracts with any sort of sponsorship companies or partners willing to sponsor you until they've been checked by the SU. It's just so we can, so we know that you're not offering the sponsor anything that the student union can't really offer or arrange. All completed contracts, they need to be sent to your coordinator who will make arrangements with a finance officer who then drafts up an invoice, and then that's sent out to your sponsor to pay and added to your club account. So fundraising. So as the student union's a charity, we directly cannot raise funds for other charities. So we ask our club societies, they are able to do this, and we ask them to fundraise via our platform, which is Raisely, and it's very similar to GoFundMe and any other platforms that you've come across in the past. We ask that you are fundraising for UK charities only, or alternatively, you can fundraise for your club society. If you need our charity number, that can be accessed at the bottom of our student union webpage, but our charity number is 1193045. If you are fundraising, please ensure you have the charity's number that you're raising funds for on a document, which is things like event proposal forms or a card reader return form. It's just so we then arrange the donation to the correct charity. Again, please use the platform Raisely. If you're an affiliated student group, then you must let us know that you're fundraising, and this can be disclosed on the event proposal form. And then once approved, we will then get back to you and support your fundraiser if you need any sort of further arrangements made by us. So expenditure, this is pretty much your everyday essential running costs. So please just make sure you have enough money in your accounts for your everyday costs before making any sort of payments that you may not have included in your budget. So if you're running an event, please consider including any contingency costs for example, damaged equipment or any sort of cleaning services that you may occur for an event. Contingency costs, these can be included in an individual ticket price. If you plan on collaborating with another group, which I do encourage if it's a large event with high expenditure, it would be good to have an agreement in place to outline what club or society, what cost that club or society is covering for that event. Again, if you have an international payment, whether it's in euros, dollars, etc., then please don't put it through the payment system. Send it directly to your coordinator so finance can arrange the payment, as they're a lot more complex, and usually we need to go through the banks before making the payment. If any sort of club or society goes into a deficit, you don't have any overdraft. So if you go into a deficit, your activity will be suspended. That's literally all your bookings cancelled until you are able to provide an action plan to kind of get yourself out of that issue. If you're unsure on what to do, then feel free to drop in the student union, and I'm sure your coordinator will provide support for this, although we do review your accounts regularly. So purchases, A member of your club or can purchase an item on behalf of the club and then request a reimbursement via the payment system. Under our regulations, we ask that purchases by members don't exceed £100. And if they we ask that they are reclaimed within 1 month. If your club purchase does exceed £100, then the SU can make that purchase on your club's behalf, whether that's an online payment or you can arrange an invoice that can be put through the payment system. We just don't want students paying out excessive amounts out of their own personal bank account for a club. It's caused issues in the past where club and society has been able to cover that reimbursement. So please avoid doing that at all costs. When making purchases, please just consider how it meets the aims and objectives of your club and also review your constitution. Please consider the sustainability of the product and also travel that you've arranged. We do have a sustainability policy in place. With any sort of kit or equipment that you do purchase, just add it to your inventory so any kit or equipment doesn't go missing. And then we will require an inventory towards the end of the year that needs to be submitted by club. It's just so that kit and equipment is actually covered under our insurance policy. So student group finance, this is the payment system that the SU uses for clubs and societies. So we can reimburse members and also make payments to any businesses or services that you have used. So this can be accessed through the expenses tab or finance option on the admin tools on your SU Club homepage. A committee member can make the personal reimbursement requests or make a request on behalf of another member. The requester must disclose the correct name of the bank account holder, sort code and account number, as the request will be rejected and therefore prolonged. An evidence of payment is needed, so we're transparent with our external auditors at the end of the year. If there's no sort of proof of payment, then again, the request will be referred back and we will ask for the payment confirmation. This could be anything from a VAT receipt or a payment confirmation email following making an online payment. With regards to things like travel to games or trips, we require mileage form. So a fellow committee member will need to approve the request before it reaches your coordinator. So if you're unsure why a payment's not being arranged, just check back on the request, because it might be the case that no one's approved it and it hasn't reached us. We ask that committee members make sure account details are correct and the proof of the purchase or evidence has been attached. Please don't submit purchase orders, as these are not applicable to us anymore. We have tried to get that removed from the system, but we're unable to, unfortunately. So all reimbursements or payments are money requests, so do not add them as purchase orders. So just a quick schedule on student group finance. So we request that all payments or reimbursements are submitted by end of each Monday for coordinators to then approve by the end of Tuesday. So I would ask you to kind of submit the requests on the previous Thursday and Friday. So usually what we do, we check them on the Friday before weekend. If there's any issues with any sort of requests, we'll refer them back to you. So then you are able to have the weekend to amend them and submit them again in time for the deadline. This just avoids any sort of delay with any requests or payments. So our finance officer, she completes any sort of payments on a Thursday or Friday each week. If you use any sort of businesses or services, we're able to pay suppliers through the student group finance system. If you have, you just need to arrange an invoice with that supplier. Once you've got the invoice, you just request it as pay. It's a money request again, pay supplier and payable to third party, and then you input the correct bank details of the supplier, and these are usually disclosed on the invoice itself. When arranging an invoice with a business or supplier, just ask them to add the address as your club or society, and then maybe the Falmouth and Exeter Student Union's address. A lot of, we've had invoices that have been invoiced to Falmouth University or Exeter University, if that's on, or personal names. If that's the case, then again, your request gets referred back to you. We ask that any sort of refunds are not arranged via the student group finance payment system. If you do have a refund, then please communicate this with your coordinator. You can actually arrange the refund, and it's a lot quicker process. We require the member's name and the product that they've purchased, and we'll arrange that for you. So just a quick overview on how to access the payment system. So you go to your admin tools, and finances is in the bottom right hand corner. And then again, we ask that you submit it as a new money request. And then the request type, whether it's a reimbursement following a member's payment on behalf of the club, or again, there's another option which is pay supplier if you are planning on paying a business or service that you've recently used or plan to use. Payable to, so it will be either be a request or other request if it's a reimbursement, or third party if it's a business or a service you've used. Payment method is always bank transfer, and then you just input the correct sort code and account number. We ask what the item you've bought is and why you've bought it under the justification tab, and then you input the amount, which is the most important part. And then account, that will be the club and society that you're requesting on behalf of. And we ask you to upload the proof of payment, whether it's a VAT receipt, email confirmation, or a screenshot of your bank transaction via your banking app has been quite popular recently if you don't have any alternative proof of payment. So just touching on a few more services that the Student Union provide. So we have 2 card readers available at the Student Union, and these can be booked out, but again, we ask that they're booked out in advance, as we have 2 card readers, but we have like over 100 clubs and societies. So sometimes the demand can be, we do have a huge demand, especially during busy times when there's a lot of events going on, which is usually Welcome Week or Christmas or during summer balls. To book out a card reader, you need to fill out the card reader loan request, which can be found on the finance page on the committee hub, or you can also find it on the event proposal form if you require the card reader. Once approved, you pick the card reader up from the Student Union. A member of staff will be on hand to help and also talk you through how to use the card reader if you've never used them before. Once you've used the card reader, you are required to fill in a return form. This is essential so we know how much you've raised via the card reader, and so it goes to the correct club's account. Both card readers, they're linked directly to our bank account. So income is deposited directly into the Student Union bank account within 2 working days, and then the SU finance team processes those funds into the correct student group account. As we use SumUp, The card reader takes a transaction charge of 1.69% for every card payment that you would take. We also have a student union minibus that clubs and societies use for trips away or away matches normally. You will need a committee member to undergo the required Midas minibus training, and there is a criteria that the committee member needs to meet to actually attend the training. Emails did go out over the summer about training. If this is something of interest to you or your club, then feel free to make contact with your coordinator. The training is £100 and can be covered by the club if they wish. So the cost of using our minibus, the charge is £40 half a day, and we also charge on top of that 55p, not 45p, 55p a mile on top. Just to help us out, because we are a small team, we ask that you complete the correct forms when using the minibus. This is so groups are charged the correct amount for hire charge and also mileage charge following use of the minibus. So travel and referee reimbursements. So clubs do reimburse their members if they've used a personal car for on behalf of a club's a trip away or say a match, an away match. We reimburse 40p a mile. With regards to mileage reimbursements, we do ask that clubs have considered this in their budget, as it can be quite a huge expenditure on the club. We do not, when requesting a reimbursement for mileage, we do not accept petrol receipts, as it's not a true reflection on the journey that you've used for the club. We ask that you fill in a mileage claim form, and these can be accessed via the committee hub, and these are uploaded to the payment system and can be used as the evidence of or proof of payment. Clubs that play competitive matches on weekends, especially home matches, they require the referee, attending referee requires payment. If you've arranged this via bank transfer on the day or cash, we request a referee claim form. This then gets submitted as a reimbursement via the payment system. As a reimbursement via the payment system, sorry. Please don't arrange a bank transfer via the payment system with the referee, as it can delay the payment for the referee, and then you'll have the referee chasing the payment up. So that's it on the finance section of the committee training. If you're unclear on any sort of thing, please make contact with your designated coordinator of the student union, or feel free to drop in at any time. We're usually on hand Monday to Friday between 10 and 4 p.m. in the student union on Penryn campus. I just want to wish you all a successful year with your club, and if you have any questions or require any support, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.